Hola, hello, turubem, ¿cómo estás? Konnichiwa. What it do? So, this is Stephen A. Smith versus LeBron incident part 9. And what we're trying to do with this episode is we're trying to close out Stephen A. Smith's response to, not really a response to Melo and Wade per se, but a response to the video that he watched of them on Melo's podcast. So we're going to jump right into it because we already know where we've started at from the last video. We're just going to pick up right where we left. And the last thing that we were speaking about is actually how Stephen A. Smith had mentioned, like, oh, I would have been cool with everything if you would have just not liking me and feeling that way as a father, if you would have just gave me the opportunity to take, me and you go to the back and we talk. And my basic response to that was like, listen, he doesn't value you, Stephen A. Smith. He doesn't see you as a real consummate threat. He must feel like even if you're not affiliated with Clutch like that, that you're still low enough on the totem pole and underneath his thumb enough that you're not really going to go out of character and really go to war with him like somebody else would. He doesn't really fear you to that level because, like you even said, I stayed away from it. I stayed away from your family. I didn't do my job for you. If a man could get you to not do your job to protect his legacy when you're not, nothing he's doing for you is worth that, then he must have felt like he already had you. I'm just being honest. So let's pick up from right there, okay? We're jumping right back into it.
But he didn't give me that opportunity. Just like he didn't give me the opportunity when The Shop was on HBO and Mav came up to me and Rich came up to me and they said, yo, we want you on The Shop. Hell yeah, we want you on The Shop. With LeBron, it'll be box office. I said, name the time and place I show up. I only got one condition. Nothing gets edited out. Nothing. Let me go. He's so right, he's so righteous. Let's do it. His show, not mine. Don't come on first, say, I ain't helping his ratings. Don't come on his YouTube show, his podcast. Nah, I ain't helping his numbers. I'll come on your show. We know it'll help numbers. At the very least, we know I could do that. Nobody was hiding. Crickets. Never heard from them since. And I know that ain't their fault. Because I know Mav will put me on in a heartbeat. Rich, Paul, and the rest of the crew. All of them. In a heartbeat. I'd show up by himself. Or I'd show up with my own boys. And we could all bring facts to the table. But I was never taken up on that offer.
So he's saying that basically he wanted to go on The Shop and, they wanted him to be on The Shop. And he said, yeah, but no edits, just keep it raw and pause, no Diddy. And they didn't, LeBron didn't okay that. And so he's saying, obviously, he didn't want that to happen. But my interpretation of that is I'm sure he's right. But also, again, like, why are you trying to fit in with dudes that don't want you? I'm friends with Mav. I'm friends with Rich. I'm friends with this guy. I'm friends with that guy. Why are you friends with a group of dudes that are that bow down to a guy that dislikes you, and they only have money because of that guy? So what's the point of playing this game? It's like, to me, it seems like from the outside looking in, LeBron James doesn't like you. He thinks that he can somewhat control you, somewhat. And he can because you're always kissing his butt and, he's the greatest, second best, and doing too much posturing. And then he's just calling in Rich, Paul, and Mav every once in a while to be like, hey, you got a good relationship with him? Control him a little bit. That's what I see. That's what it sounds like to me. I would never give somebody the satisfaction. Next clip.
You see, I don't run and hide. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. I was never on Bronny James. I wouldn't do that to the James family. I was talking about one person and one person only. We may never speak in life again. I'm fine with it. I get paid to talk about folks, not to them. I cover the league. You play, I watch, dissect, analyze, and broadcast. We ain't gotta communicate. We sure don't have to say hello to each other. We don't have to do none of that. We don't get along. And there's a multitude of reasons why. I've alluded to some of them, but we know what the biggest reason is. I ain't Shannon Sharp. It ain't GOAT status this way. My GOAT is Michael Jordan.
So it seems like Stephen A. Smith is getting down to the main point of all of this, which is he's saying that LeBron doesn't like him because he doesn't see LeBron James as the GOAT. So Stephen A. Smith is doing everything else. He's putting his lips together. He's kissing LeBron's butt. He's bowing down at the tabernacle, worshiping him. But he's just not doing the final act of greatness, which is to say that LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. How petty we have become. How petty. How petty, LeBron James, have we become? How petty. Let's continue.
35,000 points, eclipsing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with over 38,000, ultimately 40,000, now 50,000, another all-star appearance, another 50-point game, whatever. Ain't my GOAT. I watch the game. I'm a student of the game. I know a GOAT when I see one. And he is a GOAT of this generation. But all time, it's Michael Jordan. That's who the hell it is. That's the GOAT. You see, Kobe came into the game with a heart. LeBron developed one.
So I'm a little annoyed by this because everybody's always talking about Michael Jordan and LeBron James. And to me personally, there's no comparison. The only two people, in my personal opinion, and like I said, at some point I'll do a whole video on this, that can be compared to Michael Jordan are Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Kobe Bryant. But as far as the greatest careers ever, I think only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Michael Jordan stand on top of that tier. As far as players, the only true player you can compare to Michael Jordan is Kobe being Bryant. And Stephen A. Smith mentions it here. It's because he came in with a heart and a fire that LeBron just doesn't have. That's one of the reasons why I personally believe it's not close between Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Because I don't think it's close between between Kobe Bryant and LeBron James. I think Kobe Bryant is a far superior basketball player. His mindset, the way he approached the game, the way he attacked it, the skill level. Stephen A. Smith just mentioned the heart, but he's still going to tell you LeBron is second best player he's ever seen. If Kobe Bryant came in with a heart and a determination to kill at all times, and nobody could stop him, that's not LeBron James. That's still not LeBron James. We could fake it and try to make it seem like that's him. That's not him. It's never been him. LeBron James' career success is based on who he pairs himself up with. Now, you might say that's everybody, but he does way more extra than everybody else has ever done. It is not the same. And if you think that it is, you're lying. Especially if you've seen a couple different generations of basketball. This man has just been fugazi fronting all around the league, trying to get as much help as possible. He's had more help than everybody else, but still doesn't have more rings than the greatest players. And he's needed a lot of help to do it. He's going to talk about him going to Miami to get help from Wade. When did Kobe Bryant have to do that? As Stephen A. Smith said himself, Kobe never had to do that. So you ask yourself, Stephen A., why are you still kissing this much butt? It's over. LeBron's never going to be your friend. You're never going to be in that club. So you might as well start actually talking real basketball. And remember, why was Kobe Bryant so good? You mentioned one little thing, and that's enough for you. Kobe had heart. Okay, well, what else did Kobe Bryant have? I feel like there's more to that. Let's continue.
First several years, it wasn't like that because he was scared to get to the free throw line. He was never scared of an opponent. I would never disrespect greatness of LeBron James like that. He was scared to get to the free throw line. That's where the fall away jumpers came from. That was where the hesitancy to go to the hole came from. Anything that could finally lend himself towards going to the free throw line, he wasn't trying to do. But there's this thing about heart that you got to pay attention to. You see, when you lack a speck of it at any point, particularly back in the day, there would be impediments and roadblocks to prevent you from getting it. Why do I call Michael Jordan the GOAT over LeBron James? Because at his very best, compared to LeBron at his very best, I'm going MJ all day, every day. But here's the biggest thing. It was Scottie Pippen with the migraine and others associated with LeBron, with Michael Jordan, that prevented him from climbing that ladder over the Detroit Pistons until the third or fourth or fifth try, whenever it was. It wasn't because of MJ. And I'm telling you here right now, as God is my witness, LeBron, as great and phenomenal as he is, if he were playing in that era, as I've said on many occasions, and he'd gone against Michael Jordan would have tried to snatch his heart right out of his chest before he ever arrived to Miami to learn to win with D. Wade and with Pat Riley. That's my proclamation.
So LeBron James needed Pat Riley and D. Wade to learn how to win. But you're still putting him second all time. Man, these people snitch on themselves every single day, man. You said that he had to learn how to win. He was afraid. He wasn't afraid of an opponent. He was afraid of the moments or something like that, whatever you were saying. Please, man. He didn't have the heart. And if you have one little speck of heart missing, then you can't be like somebody like Jordan. Forget Michael Jordan. What about Tim Duncan? Kobe, Magic, Bird, Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaq. When were these dudes ever scared of the moments? I'm not saying they never lost, but when were they scared of moments? He said that the Bulls never lost because of Michael Jordan. Did Orlando, when they had Shaq, lose to the Rockets because of Shaq? No. What great player lost a championship because of the great player? The Utah Jazz didn't lose to the Bulls because of John Stockton and Karl Malone. They did what they're supposed to do. However, funny enough, when you look at LeBron James, the times he did lose, a lot of times, were because of him, especially some of his earlier losses. The team around him didn't play as bad as you guys think. For example, that first Cavaliers versus the Spurs, Tim Duncan did not play well in that series at all. His team, the Cavs, they locked Tim Duncan down. As a power forward, I think he was shooting like maybe 40%. Not playing well. Tony Parker was the MVP of that series. LeBron James was shooting like 33%, 35%, something crazy. He took the most threes and shot a horrible percentage. He wasn't good from the free throw line. They basically forced him to shoot, and he couldn't. So, I mean, he was young. I understand that aspect of it. But a lot of people like to say, oh, that Cavaliers team was trash. They did what they were supposed to do. His team did what they were supposed to do as a team. They wasn't supposed to be LeBron James. But LeBron James wasn't LeBron James in that series. So I'm just going back and thinking when Stephen A. Smith, at this point I'm looking for the hypocrisy in his words. He's saying some true things when it comes to LeBron, but what you're saying about the difference between LeBron and Michael Jordan is the difference between LeBron and a lot of other great superstars, in my opinion, that you just happen to throw LeBron over the top of them. I never watched Larry Bird play live. I never watched Magic play live. Now, I've heard of Tragic Johnson before. I did hear that they got on Magic Johnson for something he did. I don't really know the full story on it. But I've never heard of anybody saying Bird shrunk down. I've never heard anybody saying the Celtics lost because of Bird. Now, I have heard people say, like the Pistons, when they beat the Lakers in whatever year that was, before Shaq left, I've heard people say, oh, they lost that series because of Kobe. I've heard Kobe say they lost that series because of Kobe. But if you watch the series, I mean, they were triple teaming dude. So it's not it's not like, oh, they were it's not like he was scoring like 8 points and being wide open and being left to shoot jumpers. I mean, they were on Kobe's behind. And the rest of the team didn't do anything. Nothing. Shaq played all right, I guess. But, Ben Wallace and them were slowing him even down. I'm trying to think of a time when I saw another team get really good. I mean, that Pistons team is the best defense I've seen. Them or that Celtics team that the Lakers played in 2008 and 2010. But all I'm saying is there's hypocrisy in what he said, because you can say that for a lot of great players, that they lost not because of themselves, but because of their team. The Suns didn't lose to the Bulls because Charles Barkley wasn't good. They lost to the Bulls because the people around Charles Barkley couldn't match Scottie Pippen and some of those other guys and be superior. And Michael Jordan was just flat out unstoppable and just a little bit better. Just a little bit better than Charles Barkley. And he had Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant, who Charles Barkley said made it very, very difficult for him. So what you're saying right there, if LeBron literally has choked away some of these situations and has been the reason why, not closing or whatever the case may be, that his team is losing some of these important series, and I'm not just talking about the finals, then I'm not even saying this to pick on LeBron. I'm saying this because I listen to Stephen A. when he chooses where to put people, and he always throws LeBron second. But the things you're saying about LeBron right now, to me, why do you have him second? If you value heart and mental toughness and being a closer and stuff like that, that's not LeBron. That's never been LeBron. That's still not LeBron. I don't care what none of y'all say. I don't put those attributes with him. Those things don't go together. I see through all of that. That's not him. You know what I'm saying? That's not him, man. If AD didn't come to the Lakers, LeBron James would have been in a horrible position. Horrible. He managed to make that work because of his agency. But if it wasn't for that, what would he have been then? What heart would he have shown then? Did you see what happened when Anthony Davis got hurt and they lost to the Suns? They were playing mad good when they had Anthony Davis. The Suns couldn't stop Anthony Davis at all. Anthony Davis goes down for the series. LeBron basically quit. And he still had, some decent pieces around him. He just kind of gave up. Couldn't do nothing. And the Suns went on to go to the NBA Finals, but, I'm saying, man, like, I'm just confused by Stephen A. Smith. He says things that seem to only work. If you're going to mention those things, I know I'm harping on this, guys, and this isn't really what the video is about, but when I hear stuff like that, it just makes me like, why, if those are your criteria for why you choose Michael Jordan, There's other players like Kobe Bryant who also showed that. Tim Duncan is a silent killer who showed that. Shaq was a monster in his prime. He showed a toughness that I never seen from LeBron. So why are all these guys behind him then? If you're mentioning this stuff, if it matters to you. One of the reasons I don't have LeBron ranked as high as some other people is because of the things you just mentioned. I watched it. And it's not up to my personal liking. It's my opinion. Other people can have their opinions. You can put them where you want to put them. That's fine. We all have opinions, but I just get confused when because people will say stuff like that and then throw everybody else behind LeBron that didn't have those problems. It's confusing to me. All right, let's continue before this gets too long.
I said it before and I'll say it again. That's why Michael Jordan is my GOAT. It's just a basketball opinion to me. It's clearly a lot more to LeBron James. Choking in the finals against the Dallas Mavericks in 2011, fine. Us getting in an argument about something in black media, fine. The only consistent blemish I've placed against LeBron James is that he is not the greatest of all time. That's the frustration that's been brewing up. More so than anything else. Bring up Bronny if you want to.
So he's saying it's really, that's the deal. LeBron is mad at him because he doesn't have him as the GOAT, which is ultra petty. But even more petty, but also it's beyond petty. It's diabolical. It's outright diabolical that LeBron James would use his son to get back at Stephen A. Smith for not calling him the GOAT. And I said it before and I'm going to say it again, man. Y'all love to praise this man. Give him all this credit for being this and being that. This doesn't make him a bad father. I would never say that, but it makes you ask, why would you do this like as a father of a son that you're supposed to love? All of this, it smells more like this is what I have to do because I'm LeBron James than this is what's best for Bronny. And you can all have opinions. You can hate me for what I'm saying. Some people will. But this is ridiculous, man. And it sounds like Stephen A. Smith has a point. And he's fraudulent and snaky. He's always doing some snake stuff. But imagine when the snake and the guy that's fraudulent actually sounds like he's making sense. Even Melo and Wade agreed with this to an extent. Using your son as an excuse to basically make a mockery of another man in public that low-key tries to kiss your butt as much as possible says a lot about who you are as a person. And I always say this to people, and they don't like it. Some people. Real ones understand this. I look at famous people the same way I look at my friends and my close associates. Your money doesn't impress me. It's impressive to some extent. But when I say it doesn't impress me, I'm still looking at your character. That's what I mean. You can't put enough money in front of me that's going to make me forget about who you are when I look at you. And when I look at you and you do some snake shady stuff, then I treat you like I would treat a snake in my own space. You know what I'm saying? You alert other people to the snake and you try to get out of the area. And you try to get other people out the area as well. So I don't know what Stephen A. Smith is doing trying to be close to the snake. What does that say about Rich Paul and Maverick and all these other people that want to be close to him? That want to make excuses for him all the time. The Draymond Greens that choose him over you, even though he knows LeBron is doing some snake stuff. I wouldn't even want to associate myself with these people, but I guess the NBA is like some type of weird alternate universe high school where the jock LeBron James has to have his butt kissed. I was never that kid. I could care less. Next clip.
Bronny James, I'm going to do my job. Same energy. You mess up, I'm going to mention it. You succeed, I'm going to be there celebrating it. That's what happens in the pros. You got nothing to worry about. With me, all the best to you. I wish you nothing but the best. You're a great kid who I believe is going to be in the NBA someday, sooner than later, on a regular, consistent basis.
So we'll see about Bronny James. And Stephen A. Smith claims that now he's going to do his job. But I'm sure we'll see how he does with that. I know in his heart of hearts he wants to kiss the butt of the James family, so he's going to do that in some way, shape, or form. And he's going to continue doing that because he's continuing to do it right now. As far as how good Bronny will be, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not against the man, but I'm also not really rooting for him, if I'm being honest. I'm fairly neutral. If he wants to make people like myself a fan, then he's got to prove it on the court. Right? Because I'm neutral because I don't think he should be in the league right now. In fact, I'm not going to say I don't think. I know he shouldn't be in the league right now. He's getting a lot of handouts, man. A lot of things are being changed and moved and manipulated for him, for one person. This reminds me of his dad. Things being moved and changed and manipulated for one person's success. I never liked that, and I never will like that. I feel like everybody should have an equal playing field. And I get it. Life is hard. That's not realistic in life, and blah, blah, blah. Fine. But in sports, it's supposed to be closer to what life should actually be, which is you compete and the best man wins. And for some reason, since LeBron James joined Miami, it hasn't been that. Everything is upside down. It's like Bizarro World. So, yeah, we'll see with Bronny. I don't hate the man. He seems like a good kid based on everything I see. He's likable, in my opinion. In my opinion, he's more likable than his dad. That's just my opinion. So, let's let him close out.
To the James family, my apologies for all of this happening. To the Draymond Green's world, I'm sad I hurt your friend. Or I upset your friend, bro. Evidently, that matters a lot to you. My bad. To the basketball world, I'm Stephen A. Smith, damn it. And I'm going to cover the sport the way I cover the sport. Ain't nobody changing me on that. I'm going to give it to you how you deserve it. Good, bad, or indifferent. And that includes LeBron James. Ain't nobody changing. This was not about Bronny. This was about LeBron. He did all of this with his words and his proclamations and his assertions.
Well, that's a fact. Yes, I agree here. This is LeBron's doing, man. He created this monster. And it's always a trail behind LeBron James if you really follow it and you're honest with yourself and you tell the truth. People like to say, oh, people just are hating on him. You know, people just don't like him. Blah, blah, blah. Listen, man. Lightning doesn't strike in the same place twice. That's what they say. But all I see around LeBron James is a bunch of electricity. And everything that he goes through, there's a bunch of electricity. There's another scandal that I'm going to touch on shortly about him and AD. There's new things about that. I thought nobody knew. Turns out, looks like some people knew about this AD and Luka Doncic trade. More electricity surrounding LeBron James. However, what I don't like about this last bit here is that Stephen A. Smith just basically said, sorry to everybody. Sorry to Draymond Green. Man, forget Draymond Green, bruh. Forget Draymond Green. That's a lost cause. That's a lost soul. He's in love with that man. He's in love with LeBron James. You're not breaking up that happy marriage. Not happening. Not happening. So, I don't even know why you said all that. Apologizing to the James family? Apologizing for what? Apologizing for what? You don't have to apologize to their family. His daddy did this. And see, this is where Stephen A. Smith starts doing all this talking. You talk too much, Stephen A. Respectfully, brother. There's nothing to apologize for. Their daddy did this. He created this storm. Because you wouldn't do the final act of obeisance. Is that what they call it? I think that's the word. I have to look it up. If I messed it up, I apologize. Tried to use a new word. Off the cuff. But you did everything short of pour the honey all over yourself like Shannon Sharp. And Shannon Sharp, no disrespect to you, brother. I'm not being disrespectful. You literally said in one of your sound bites something about the bear and pour honey over me or something like that. You said that. So I'm not saying this to be disrespectful, Unc. I do think you're a little bit too obsessed with LeBron James. But I'm not coming at you right here, right now. And I actually appreciate your commentary. I like listening to you. Most of the time. Unless you're talking about LeBron James and honey. That's when I get a little bit, I withdraw a little bit in that situation. So, I mean, that's pretty much the end of what Stephen A. Smith had to say. There's one last little section. Let's let him finish cooking, and then we'll close out with the final thoughts.
To show that it really does hurt him not to be the GOAT. Oh, well. That's it for this edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show. You feel how you want to feel. I feel how I want to feel. I am going to do my job. That's the way it is. Y'all have a nice day. Till next time.
So that's it. That's the final part here of Stephen A. Smith talking about his beef with LeBron James. And so what have we learned here, guys? What have we learned here? I'm going to wrap it all up in the next episode. I'm going to give a final overall take. But primarily what we learned in this situation is that the ultimate Scooby-Doo mystery being solved is that LeBron James, which is no surprise to me, is upset because Stephen A. Smith is not pouring honey all over himself. Seems awfully petty here, and he wants to be the GOAT, no matter what. I mean, he's put a lot of money and resources into it, right? On and off the court. Right? So he takes it seriously. And so seriously that he will not even mind using his son to help him pick a fight with a guy that throws some of the worst punches I've ever seen in a grown man, if I'm being quite honest with you. So we're going to finish that for now, for today. We will come back with episode 10, and that will be wrapping everything up. And there's one more little surprise snippet that the great brother Stephen A. Smith was, nice enough to leave us with on our way out of this Stephen A. Smith versus LeBron James incident series. But thank you very much for your time. I'm very humble. I appreciate it. I know some people are not going to like this because LeBron James fan club is very, very strong. And again, I'm just going to say to you one last, not the last time you hear me say this, but I'm going to say it for the last time in this video. I'm not LeBron James, and neither are you. You're not getting a check. I'm not getting a check. Not from him. So if you really dislike the things that I'm saying, please hit the comment section. Use facts. No need to disrespect one another. I don't know you. You don't know me in many cases. So just be respectful. If you have something to say something. But be fair. Be fair. Use facts as much as possible. You can throw some opinions in there, but your opinion should be based on facts. Your facts should not be based on opinions. So thank you very much for your time, your effort, your energy to listen through all of this. I appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Much love. That somehow you never get over.
believe in me. And when you feel like coming